June 6, 2015, 5:30 a.m., Clinton Correctional Facility, Dannemora, New York. Guards conduct morning head count. Cell block 23. 2 inmates should be in their cells. David Sweat, Richard Matt, both convicted murderers. Maximum security. The guards look in, see the shapes of sleeping men under blankets. Everything looks normal. Then one guard steps closer. Something's wrong. He pulls back the blanket. It's not a person, it's pillows and a mannequin head. The guards rush to the second cell. Same thing. Dummy heads, empty beds, alarm sounds, lockdown, emergency. 2 killers are gone. But how? This is maximum security. The prison called Little Siberia. Nobody escapes from Dannemora. Except they did, using power tools, sledgehammers, and something the guards never expected. A prison employee who fell in love with them. Title card, Beyond the Bars plus episode title. Title appears, Dannemora, When Love Breaks Them Out. Clinton Correctional Facility, Dannemora, New York, built in 1845. One of the oldest and most secure prisons in America, surrounded by 30-foot walls, guard towers, razor wire, upstate New York wilderness. They call it Little Siberia because of the brutal winters and isolation. It's designed for New York's most dangerous criminals. In 2015, 2 of those criminals were David Sweat and Richard Matt. Richard Matt, the artist age 48, serving 25 years to life for murder. In 1997, Matt kidnapped his former boss, tortured him for 27 hours and beat him to death. He fled to Mexico, killed another man there, was caught and extradited back to New York, convicted of murder, sent to Clinton Correctional. But Matt was also talented, an artist, charismatic, manipulative, the kind of man who could charm anyone. David Sweat, the cop killer age 34, serving life without parole. In 2002, Sweat and 2 accomplices murdered a sheriff's deputy during a July 4th robbery. Sweat was the shooter, killed Deputy Kevin Tarsia. No possibility of parole. Ever, Sweat had nothing to lose, and he knew it. The friendship. Inside Clinton Correctional, Matt and Sweat became friends. They worked together in the prison tailor shop, spent hours together every day, and they started planning. Because both men knew they were never getting out legally, so they'd get out illegally. The problem, maximum security prisons are designed to prevent escape. Thick walls, steel bars, constant surveillance. Matt and Sweat needed help from the outside, or from the inside. Joyce Mitchell, age 51, married, 2 sons. She worked at Clinton Correctional Facility for 14 years as a civilian employee in the prison tailor shop. She supervised inmates, helped them with clothing alterations and repairs. Her life was ordinary. Small-town New York, stable job, long marriage, until she met Richard Matt. The seduction. Richard Matt was charming, artistic, attentive. He painted portraits. He made Joyce laugh. He listened to her problems. Slowly, over months, Joyce fell for him. Prison investigators would later describe it as classic manipulation. Matt targeted her, groomed her, but Joyce said she loved him. Then David Sweat joined the picture. Sweat was younger, fit, flirtatious. Joyce became emotionally involved with both men, a love triangle, inside a maximum security prison. The request. Matt and Sweat had been planning their escape for months. They had the route, they had the plan, but they needed tools, power tools, hacksaw blades, chisels, things they couldn't get inside the prison. They asked Joyce to smuggle them in. Joyce's decision, Joyce knew it was wrong, illegal, dangerous, but she was in love, manipulated, convinced. She agreed. Over several months, Joyce smuggled hacksaw blades, drill bits, chisels, lighted glasses, all brought into the prison tailor shop, hidden in her lunch bag, in her clothing. Security never checked her thoroughly. She was a trusted employee. The plan, Matt and Sweat would cut through their cell walls, access the tunnels beneath the prison, cut through steam pipes, emerge outside. Joyce would be waiting with a car, drive them to the Canadian border. They'd escape to Canada, start a new life, together. At least that's what Joyce believed. But on the night of the escape, Joyce didn't show up. She chickened out, went to the hospital instead, claimed she was having a panic attack. Matt and Sweat were on their own. For months, Matt and Sweat prepared. Every night after lights out, they worked. The method. Step 1. Cut through the steel wall at the back of their cells using hacksaw blades. The cuts were precise, hidden behind posters and photos on the wall. Guards never noticed. Step 2. Crawl through the hole into a catwalk behind the cell block. Step 3. Descend into the prison's tunnel system beneath the buildings. Clinton Correctional was built in 1845. It has miles of old steam tunnels, pipes, and maintenance passages, many unmapped. Step 4. Cut through a steel steam pipe. This took weeks. The pipe was 2 feet in diameter, incredibly thick. They used the hacksaw blades Joyce smuggled, worked quietly, slowly. Step 5. Crawl through the pipe. Emerge in a different part of the tunnel system. Step 6. Cut through a brick wall leading to a manhole cover outside the prison perimeter. Step 7. Lift the manhole cover. Climb out. Freedom. June 5, 2015. Escape night, 11 p.m. Lights out. Guards finish final head count. Everything normal. 11:30 p.m. Matt and Sweat place dummy heads in their beds. Midnight. They crawl through the holes in their cell walls. 12:30 a.m. Descend into the tunnels. 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. Navigate the maze of tunnels. Cut through the final steam pipe. 4:30 a.m. Emerge at the manhole. Lift the cover. Climb out into Dannemora. 5 a.m. Disappear into the woods. 5:30 a.m. Guards discover the dummies. Alarm sounds. The manhunt begins. By 6 a.m., every law enforcement agency in New York is mobilized. State police, FBI, U.S. Marshals, Border Patrol, helicopters, dogs, roadblocks. The largest manhunt in New York history. 2 convicted killers, armed and dangerous, somewhere in the wilderness. The note. In Matt's cell, investigators find a taunting note. "Have a nice day." Matt and Sweat are mocking them. For 3 weeks, Matt and Sweat evade capture. They hide in the Adirondack wilderness, thick forests, mountains, cabins. Week 1. Police search a 16-square-mile area. Find nothing. Matt and Sweat break into hunting cabins, steal food, clothing, supplies. Witnesses report seeing 2 men matching their descriptions, but by the time police arrive, they're gone. Week 2. The search area expands to hundreds of square miles. Over 1,000 law enforcement officers are searching. DNA evidence confirms Matt and Sweat were in certain cabins, but they keep moving. The public is terrified. Schools go into lockdown. Residents arm themselves. Week 3. Matt and Sweat are running out of supplies. The intense manhunt is closing in. They're exhausted, hungry, desperate, and they're starting to make mistakes. June 26, 2015. Day 21. A man in Malone, New York, 30 miles from the prison, hears sounds in his camper. He calls 911. Police surround the area. Tactical teams move in. They find Richard Matt. He's armed with a shotgun stolen from a cabin. Matt refuses to surrender. Officers open fire. Richard Matt is killed. 1 down, 1 to go. June 28, 2015, day 23. 2 days later, a sergeant spots a man running across a field near the Canadian border. David Sweat. The sergeant gives chase, orders Sweat to stop. Sweat keeps running. The border is less than 2 miles away. The sergeant fires twice. Both shots hit Sweat. He goes down. Sweat survives. He's captured. Rushed to a hospital. The escape is over. 21 days. Over 1,000 officers. Millions of dollars spent. 1 escapee dead. 1 recaptured. After the capture, the focus shifts to Joyce Mitchell. Joyce's arrest. Joyce is arrested and charged with promoting prison contraband, criminal facilitation. She pleads guilty. Joyce testifies that she was manipulated, seduced, in love. Prosecutors argue she knew exactly what she was doing. She enabled murderers to escape. The judge sentences her to 2 to 7 years in prison. Joyce Mitchell, the prison employee who helped killers escape, becomes a prisoner herself. David Sweat's fate. Sweat recovers from his gunshot wounds. He's charged with escape and other crimes. Sentenced to an additional 3.5 to 7 years on top of his life sentence. He's transferred to a different maximum security facility, solitary confinement. 23 hours a day in a cell. He'll never see freedom again. The investigation. How did two maximum security inmates plan this escape for months without detection? The investigation revealed catastrophic failures. Failure number 1, lack supervision of civilian employees. Joyce Mitchell was never properly screened or monitored for inappropriate relationships with inmates. Failure number 2, inadequate cell inspections. Guards never checked behind the posters on the walls, never discovered the cut steel. Failure number 3, no tunnel monitoring. The old steam tunnels beneath the prison were unmapped and unmonitored. Matt and Sweat had free access. Failure number 4, tool accountability. Prison tailor shop had poor inventory control. Missing tools weren't reported. The reforms. After Dannemora, New York implemented sweeping changes, background checks and monitoring for all civilian employees, random cell searches with wall inspections, tunnel systems sealed or monitored, tool inventory systems upgraded, increased surveillance. In 2018, Ben Stiller directed Escape at Dannemora for HBO, starring Benicio del Toro as Richard Matt, Paul Dano as David Sweat, and Patricia Arquette as Joyce Mitchell. The series won multiple awards, made the escape a cultural phenomenon. Joyce Mitchell's story became infamous. The prison employee who fell in love with killers. Lost in the media circus was a critical fact. David Sweat murdered a police officer, Deputy Kevin Tarsia, July 4, 2002. Sweat shot Tarsia 15 times during a robbery. Tarsia left behind a wife and 2 children. Tarsia's family statement. When Sweat was captured, Tarsia's widow released a statement. David Sweat should never have been in a position to escape. He should never have been in a minimum supervision work detail. He's a cop killer. And now he's made a mockery of our justice system. Richard Matt also left victims. The man he tortured and murdered in 1997. The man he killed in Mexico. The cost. The 21-day manhunt cost New York taxpayers over $23 million. Schools were closed, families terrorized, communities locked down, all because 2 murderers were able to escape maximum security. The lesson. Dannemora exposed how manipulation, poor oversight, and complacency can lead to disaster. Joyce Mitchell wasn't a criminal mastermind. She was a lonely woman manipulated by a charismatic killer, but her choices had consequences. Richard Matt is dead. David Sweat will die in prison. Joyce Mitchell served time and was released in 2020, and the victims' families still grieve. The Dannemora escape was audacious. Months of planning, power tools, underground tunnels, a 21-day manhunt, but it also exposed human weakness, love, manipulation, desperation. Richard Matt and David Sweat didn't escape because the prison was weak. They escaped because they found someone on the inside who cared more about them than the law. This is Beyond the Bars, where we go deeper than the headlines. Subscribe for more prison escape stories. Hit the notification bell. What do you think? Was Joyce Mitchell a victim or a criminal? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.